So I do kind of apologize for the clickbaity title, but I really feel like you guys should watch this video in its entirety because it will help you out, not just for this release, but for future tech releases. What's up guys, it is Ozzy from OzTalksHW, and a few days ago NVIDIA released their new Pascal GPUs, the GTX 1080 and the 1070 to a certain extent. Both of these seem like pretty awesome cards, and I will put the specs of both the 1080 and what we know of the 1070 on screen. I don't really think I should go through them because it's not really applicable to this video, but you guys should still see them regardless. Either way, NVIDIA is boasting 1.7 to 2 times the performance of the Titan X on the GTX 1080 when it comes to virtual reality, and another 20 to 30% when it comes to DirectX 11 and DirectX 12 games. All of this is going to be priced at $599. I think the more exciting part though is the 1070, which is boasting Titan X performance at $379. So just on paper, the 1080 and the 1070 seem like AMD killers right from the get-go. So I'm sure the question a lot of you are asking is, if these cards seem so solid and like the best cards that have ever hit the market yet, then why do I have to wait until making my decision to purchase them? Well, because like I said earlier, these look great on paper. They're coming from first-party reviewers. By first-party reviewers, I mean anybody that's affiliated with the company that's selling their product or the company themselves. Of course, they're going to make their product look good. That is marketing 101. NVIDIA is not going to pick a game or choose settings that make their 1080 look slower than their competition or not up to par for what a lot of people expected. Instead, they're going to cherry pick games and showcase games that show the 1080's full potential. But of course, as we know, that full potential will not always be reached, and it could just be reached in that certain scenario. And this does not just apply to NVIDIA. AMD, Intel, Victoria's Secret, Hershey's, Tesla, any company could do this. It's simple marketing 101. You're going to showcase what makes your product look good so people will buy it. And so because of this, I highly recommend you at least wait for third-party reviewers to get their hands on the 1080 and or the 1070 before choosing to buy the product. And by third party, I mean anybody and everybody that is not affiliated with the company. This includes, but isn't limited to, people who make blog posts about tech, YouTubers, again, bloggers, anybody that has their own review website. That pretty much covers third-party reviewers. Anybody that's not affiliated with the company, that's not being paid by the company, or any of that. What I usually do is wait for AnandTech or AnandTech to get their hands on a product for review before I actually buy it, because I have seen that they seem to be the least biased and the most fair when it comes to testing. Unfortunately, we have seen what it's like when companies market their product a certain way, but it doesn't perform like we expected. Before AMD released the Fury X, they released benchmarks that showed the Fury X handily beating or at least tying the 980 Ti in all of the games they benchmarked. While when reviewers got their hands on the Fury X, it was not like that at all. It was actually being beaten by the 980 Ti. And of course, driver updates have helped the Fury X in several cases, but again, that's just one example of how first-party reviewers are always not the most reliable. So take them with a grain of salt. Another good example, and I'm sorry for picking on you AMD, was the whole Fury X overclocker's dream fiasco. Lisa Su, and I quote, said that the Fury X will be the overclocker's dream. Well, when it was released, it was not able to be overclocked very efficiently or very well. And of course, this has been updated through drivers and BIOS updates, of course, but it was not at the hype that we anticipated it to be. The second reason why I think you should wait is because Polaris is right around the corner. Right now we don't know much about Polaris, but AMD is supposedly going to unveil Polaris before Computex at the end of May, but again, that's just a rumor. What we do know though is that Polaris will be using 14 nanometer GDDR5 or GDDR5X memory. It will support virtual reality, and it will also support DirectX 12. Top of that, AMD also said that they're trying to offer high performance at the mainstream level. So you could potentially be looking at R9 390 to Fury X performance in the $150 to $350 price bracket. So again, we don't know too much about this new architecture, but I think we know enough that will constitute waiting instead of going to purchase that shiny new 1080 or 1070 upon release. When there are major companies competing for a product, it is always good to wait and see what the other competitors have before making your final purchase. Right now, the 1080 and the 1070 seem like amazing cards, and they're pretty strong, but we have nothing to compare it to. Historically, there are a few instances of companies punching back with better products. In June of 2008, Nvidia unveiled the GTX 280 for $650, while a few days later, AMD unveiled the Radeon 4870. It had 90 to 100% of the performance of the 280, but it was only $300. So it was a lot better product than the 280 itself. And even outside of the video card market, we have instances of companies showing better products later on in the year. AMD released the Atom 64X2 5600 Plus for $326 in May of 2006. Well, about a month to a month and a half later, Intel unveiled the Core 2 Duo E6600. It was $316, but had better performance and it consumed less power. So basically what I'm saying here is that you should wait. Being patient is the best thing that you can do. If Polaris is not as good as it's anticipated to be, then you can always go get the 1080 or the 1070. That's not an issue. And even better is that there will be plenty of price cuts, and you know that those GTX 970s and those R9 390s will be flooding the used market for like $200 to $250. So again, it's a win-win situation if you wait. But if you get the 1080 or the 1070 now, and Polaris ends up being a little bit better for a better price or better valued, then you're kind of missing out. And of course, this video is not to belittle Nvidia or any of their products or any of that, or belittle any company actually, but it's just to make you guys more aware and better consumers and buyers. That's it for this video, guys. If you found it informative, be sure to share it with your friends or anybody that's saying that AMD is dead or that the 1080 is the best thing to hit the market since it's sliced bread. If you loved the video, subscribe. If you liked it, give it a like, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.